I was released from a psychiatric facility 3 months ago, having been incarcerated there for 5 years, simply for exposing the fact the Devizes police were operating cartel arrangements with Kurdish rape gangs in their town. Indeed, it's all very interesting to consider that Devizes police utilize a network of local child rapists who are known as M Gang, who are a satanic ritual abuse network operative for 764. Indeed, Devizes police utilize these guys to pimp teenage and prepubescent females to the Kurdish rape gangs operating in Devizes. So it's all very interesting to consider indeed. The police profit from this by the fact that the Kurdish rape gangs videotape all of the sexual activities, and the police duplicate these tapes. The police keep one for their personal pleasure and sell the other tape on the black market, utilizing their usual networks, i.e., dark web operatives of the Romanian and Albanian mobs, all involved in the kiddie porn circuit headquartered at Wiltshire Police Headquarters, overseen by Philip Wilkinson, the Wiltshire Police Crime Commissioner, who is personally overseeing all of the operations of the Devizes Police child rape cartel. So it's all very, very strange, really, what is going on in that town, and the fact that the police oversee this enormous child sexual abuse network. It's all very disturbing, really, indeed. It is very, very disturbing indeed. Indeed. Devizes police are attempting to monitor my YouTube and basically have plans to arrest anyone who watches the videos. So it's all very interesting to consider Devizes police are attempting to utilize damage control to attempt to stop what could potentially be a very explosive exposure of Devizes police. And the Devizes police are monitoring everyone who watches this YouTube by traditional sources. Indeed, they are unable to monitor those who approach this YouTube through proxy servers and VPNs. So it's interesting to consider indeed. There are many more people viewing this YouTube channel than the count suggests. So it's all quite interesting, and Devizes police cannot monitor everyone. So it's interesting to consider indeed. However, it is interesting to note that the Devizes lobby, i.e., people within the government intertwined with Devizes residents who are involved in the same activities, have rather a lot of power within the British Parliament. Indeed, the Devizes lobby is quite powerful. So it's interesting to consider that British intelligence do not want Devizes exposed, especially not the organ traffic, i.e. the organ harvesting cartel operating through the Walter Rose and Sons butcher shop. This is to remain a carefully guarded state secret, and to expose it is basically to risk an issue of national security because of the intricacies involved and the amount of elite networks of British elite paedophile rings that interconnect with the Devizes circuits, especially the Wiltshire Police Headquarters kiddie porn circuit and the Walter Rose and Sons butcher shop organ harvesting cartel. Indeed, it is better for the British elites that the public never find out the truth about Devizes. However, I intend to continue to pump the public domain full of as much truthful information as I possibly can about the town of Devizes and the networks that run it, including the 49 elders of Devizes, plus one Applin family patriarch, who are centered around Moonraker Lodge number 8747, where a lot of the ritual child sacrifice in Devizes takes place, in an underground cavern beneath Moonraker Lodge number 8747 on Morris Lane in Devizes. There are regular child sacrifices there, at least 3 times a week, as at the moment the Freemasons of Moonraker Lodge number 8747 are attempting to summon demons to infest my brain so that I would go completely crazy and therefore would not be able to continue with my exposures of the town of Devizes. Indeed, there is a dual purpose also, because the Freemasons believe that their Messiah is coming, i.e. the Sabbatean Messiah, who I know as a vermin, and Khan's folk know as Cass Lynch or Cassius Lynch, who has been selected by the Sabbatean High Rabbis to be their Messiah. So it's all very interesting to consider indeed. Cass Lynch is Sabbatean through his mother, interestingly, and also has interconnecting bloodlines through his mother to the Windsors, i.e. the British royal family, the Saxe-Coburg-Gotha family. And this is why his child rape activities are protected by the British security services, because he is a member of the British royal family. Indeed, this is the same situation with PC Alex Day of Devizes Police. His child rape activities are protected by the British security services because he is, through the Maitlands bloodlines, related, although quite distantly, to the British royal family. Therefore, he has crown and monarchical protection for his activities involving prepubescent boys. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, as I stated before, Devizes is a form of protective custody for child rapists. Child rapists are smuggled by the security services to Devizes when they can't be put in prison. And in Devizes, they are set up as drug dealers or butchers in Walter Rose and Sons butcher shop to continue the Devizes cartel. It is all very interesting to consider the amount of drug dealers in Devizes that are operative as part of a police confidential informant network and are also protected child rapists, protected under Crown statutes that furthermore license their continued activities. Indeed, Devizes acts as a form of protective custody for child rapists, but also a place for the continuation of those activities due to certain things being allowed in Devizes by Crown license that are not allowed in other parts of the country. So it's interesting to consider. Indeed, Devizes is a ritual abuse centre for the UK, so it's interesting to consider this. Indeed, the Order of Nine Angles has a headquarters in Devizes on Pan's Lane, so it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, you must also consider the fact that the Roundway experiment is in Devizes, and the ritual torture and mind control of mental patients is ongoing in the catacombs beneath the old Roundway Asylum, i.e. the current site of the Green Lane Psychiatric Facility. There are many mental patients there, stored and utilized in laboratory fashion for mind control experimentation. Indeed, they are also regularly raped by covens of Devizes residents who visit these catacombs to rape the mental patients. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, Devizes do not seem to be able to stop raping people, and indeed I've theorized that this is because of the chemicals pumped into the water supply in Devizes by the Freemasons of Moonraker Lodge number 8747 to keep the town controlled by Satanism. So it's all very interesting to consider what Devizes really is. And all of this centers around the activities of Walter Rose and Sons Butcher Shop, i.e. the organ harvesting center of the Devizes cartel, which is also a child trafficking ring also. So it's all very interesting to consider. About 100,000 children pass through the courtyard of Walter Rose and Sons Butcher Shop every year, and at night, overseen by operatives of what I have termed the Black House Gang, who are local Wiltshire so-called gangsters in designer jean shorts, who think this is convincing criminal activity when it's just a police-run network completely overseen by the Wiltshire police cadres, especially the thugs of Devizes police, because funnily enough, Walter Rose and Sons butcher shop is on exactly the same street, only 5 minutes walk from the Wiltshire police headquarters. So it's all very interesting to consider that this organ traffic and organ harvesting cartel is operating directly in the shadow of the Wiltshire police headquarters. So it says a lot about the fact that Wiltshire police are overseeing this operation. And also, so many Devizes residents are aware of it, because not only are they profiting from it, they can also carry out what is natural to Devizes residents, i.e. child rape, necrophilia, incest, cannibalism, and ritual sacrifice. All of these things are natural to the Devizes resident. The Devizes is very similar to the movie franchise The Wrong Turn. So it's all very, very interesting to consider what the truth is here regarding this small market town in Wiltshire that thinks it has a respectable reputation, when in truth it is a place of sickness and brutality. The Devizes residents murdered 76 mental patients who were attempting to expose the town between the years 1989 and 2001. Indeed, these were runaways from the Roundway experiment taking place underground across Devizes, but mainly under the site of the current Green Lane Psychiatric Facility and the catacombs there, on the old site of the old Roundway Asylum, which was known for brutality towards mental patients, especially by the orderlies who were themselves recruited from the town of Devizes, which has chemicals in the water supply which induce Satanism in the controlled subject. So it's interesting to consider. The Devizes residents are effectively part of an ongoing experiment to keep alive satanic activity within certain bloodlines. Indeed, it's all very interesting. Certain bloodlines seem to be more satanic than others, such as the Farrington bloodline. Indeed, P.C. Mason Farrington of Devizes Police sacrificed his first baby when he was 4 years old and ate the baby. So it's all very interesting to consider he was brought up in an intergenerational Satanist environment and has now become the child rapist extraordinaire that he is today. So it's all very interesting to consider the Farringtons are one of the most despicable intergenerational Satanist families in the Devizes network, along with the obvious suspects, i.e. the Giles, Cartwright, Rose, and Hughes families. So it's all very interesting to consider what all of this is. Indeed, all of the children in Devizes are abused at some point, and the problem is many of them go on to become abusers themselves, because they're stuck drinking the Devizes water supply, showering in the Devizes water. They're basically being pumped full of chemicals that induce Satanism by the edicts of the 49 elders of Devizes, plus one Applin family patriarch, who gather at the headquarters of their Sanhedrin, i.e. Moonraker Lodge number 8747, which is one of the chief constructs of Masonry in Wiltshire. Indeed, it seems to be one of the more powerful lodges on the Wiltshire Masonic circuit. Indeed, Wyvern Lodge number 8620 here in Warminster is subservient to Moonraker Lodge number 8747, and Golden Lodge number 4, which is located in the labyrinthine vaults beneath the Wiltshire Police headquarters in Devizes, which is chiefly a Masonic police fraternity. So it's interesting to consider the police have their own lodge within the crypt systems of the Wiltshire Police headquarters. Indeed, Wiltshire Police headquarters also contains the largest stash of child porn in the Western world, and much of this is sold through networks connected to the Applin family, i.e. the head patriarch of Devizes Police. So it's all very interesting to consider this despicable network and this truly despicable town with truly despicable people in it who are basically under the sway of satanic chemicals, and for some reason don't want to break out of the matrix. They enjoy being disgusting, despicable, degenerate human beings. So it's all very interesting to consider. And yeah, I feel quite sorry for the Devizes residents, really, a lot of them. Also, I do believe there are a certain percentage of Devizes residents who are actually unaware that all of this is going on and do not take part in these activities, which makes this all very interesting indeed. How Devizes managed to keep all of this secret? Indeed, I don't believe these country bumpkins would be clever enough to keep all of this secret. However, they have license to operate and protection from the most powerful elites in Britain. As I stated, the Devizes lobby contains some very powerful people because there are powerful people who like to visit Devizes to take part in the ritualism, child rape, and infanticide that goes on in the Devizes catacombs. So it's very interesting. The Devizes lobby is basically one of the entities running the United Kingdom and NATO. So it's all very interesting to consider this. Indeed, the Devizes lobby in the British government contains some very, very powerful individuals, including the prospective future Prime Minister, Andy Burnham, who regularly visits Devizes to rape children and eat their flesh. So it's all very interesting to consider. This is the kind of people we have in our political elites. They are just like Devizes people. So it's really quite a disturbing concept to consider that the nation is run by people who behave in a very similar fashion to people from Devizes. So it's all very, very strange and very crazy and really, really quite troubling. Indeed, it is very troubling. Anyway, there isn't much else I can do apart from continually pump the public domain full of information about Devizes, Devizes Police, Devizes Residents, the Elders of Devizes, etc., and the Roundway experiment. Indeed, eventually, someone with a brain is going to wander onto this channel. And indeed, schizophrenics may find this channel also and take revenge if I am killed by anyone connected to Devizes Police. Indeed, I am predicting a death at the hands of someone connected to Devizes Police, who may be a Devizes resident, or who may not be a Devizes resident. Indeed, I am expecting trouble here in Warminster because of my exposures of the military base, because the military base does indeed, through defence intelligence networks, i.e. Warminster Military Intelligence Spooks, connect to the Devizes Police operation. Indeed, the British military actually are involved in the abduction of children for the Devizes ring. So it's all very interesting how all of this interlinks with the military-industrial complex, and it does very deeply. Through Defence Intelligence and Defence Industrial Security Command, who interestingly are controlled by pro-Israel lobbyists, and interestingly the Devizes lobby, which is a very secretive organisation within the British government, but is nevertheless there. Indeed, the Devizes lobby lobbies for the continuation of the Devizes infanticide ring within the British system, basically. So it's all very interesting to consider. Devizes is backed by very, very powerful people, including the future Prime Minister, Andy Burnham, who regularly visits Devizes to commit infanticide. So it's all very interesting to consider. My exposure of the organ trade, operating out of Walter Rose and Sons Butcher Shop in Devizes, has led me to some very interesting conclusions on the truth about what Devizes is. And I hope over the course of these videos that more and more will basically come to make sense about what Devizes really is. Indeed, this is a 450-year legacy of Satanism in Devizes, ever since the Chesterfield cult set up true roots in Devizes with the Giles, Rose, and Cartwright families who still run this vile little shithole today. So it's all very interesting to consider indeed. I'm going to leave it there now. Walter Rose and Sons Butcher Shop. Fuck it hell.